How's it going, everyone? So I'm working on this 46RE transmission, and I just want to go over a couple of things that I did. Um, After disassembling it, and well, let me start with, I pulled the pan, I found a snap ring in it. It was the overdrive snap ring, the wavy style, and I dug a little further, found that the reverse servo was broken, and a couple other things that caught my eye, but yeah, it shifted fine. And it was kind of harsh on some of the shifts, but like I said, it shifted fine. And I pulled the pan, and that's what I found. So I decided to go through it. It's from a 2001 Dodge Durango. I am upgrading this transmission. It's still going to have stock internals, except for the planets and a couple of other items that I purchased, and I'll go through that in this video with you guys. One of the things is I got a bolt-in Sprag from A&A. Great looking piece. It is bolted in already. Everything went together perfect. I got the Pro installation kit. And I got the Pro because I'll probably end up doing this again to another transmission, whether it be a 46 or 47 or possibly a 48. But yeah, I got the Pro installation tool, or maybe I'll just rent it out. Who knows? So it's already bolted in. I did JB weld it. I used the bolts to hold it in place for the JB weld to set. And after it's set up for a couple of days, I took the bolts out, put some blue Loctite on them, threw the bolts in. A couple other things while I was in there. The passage here is the return from the cooler. This kind of tapers down. It starts off at 9/32, kind of tapers down. So I drilled it out to 5/16. It's now 5/16 all the way through. It's chamfered. And I did drill about 3/4 from the opening into the rear Sprag area, so that cooler, that return line from the cooler, it'll lubricate the overrun clutch in the back of the case here. So another thing I did was I got an aftermarket support. It does have the O-ring in here. I did chamfer all the oiling holes, and I did enlarge them just to get better, more oil to the surfaces, to the wear surfaces here. And I did get some stainless washers and some grade 8 hardware just at the local Ace store in the neighborhood here. I do have the updated the servos, accumulators, pistons, whatever you want to call them. The reverse here is now, it's stainless steel. It's a very good piece. Got it online. There's a few companies out there that have some good items for these transmissions. You just got to search and do your homework and look around. But yeah, that's a 3/8 out of a Jeep, 3/8 lever. I decided to go to 3/8 because I didn't want too slow of an engagement, and the 2.5 I thought was going to be too fast and not enough pressure. But yeah, I decided to go with a 3/8. I'm going to try it out. A lot of people say, just go to a 4.2. I'm using a 3/8. So, and that's what it's going to be. And it's not like it's that hard to replace anyways. So if I decide to change it up in the future, I can change it up. No big deal. I did drill the case so I can adjust the line pressure. That was pretty easy. I just used a regular drill, and I went at a 90-degree angle to the flat surface here, and then I moved the drill bit and just plunged in just enough to make enough room to go straight in. And there's a pipe plug fits in here, very nice. It's very snug. I'll throw some sealer on it. I won't have an issue. But yeah, it's not exactly directly on the Allen bolt to adjust that line pressure, but it's not a problem if you have like a wobble Allen. It works great. Actually, you can turn it with a regular Allen, but a wobble it'll feel better. It'll grip it better, and because it's at just a slight of an angle, but it works. That's drilled with a regular drill. I did smooth the inside of this transmission. As you can see, all those rough areas, they're all smoothed down. Just Just helps with oil flow. This, everything is smooth. The back of the case here, I went over with a file. I put the support in here and it was rocking around, so I decided, take it back off, and I filed it. I filed it flat, and as I was putting this transmission together, I had it apart like 4 times, and I just kept finding stuff. So I finally said, okay, I finally got it to the point where it was almost all back together, and be like, okay, I'm not going to be finding anything else because I'm just at that point. So I washed it, I blew it out, and I threw it in the dishwasher, and it got washed. It came out. Everything's clean on it. This pot is clean as you'd want it, and it worked out great. Yeah, dishwasher's great. You remove the racks and everything. I made myself some pipe, some tube here, some plastic tube. I went through this side, screwed the plastic tube to this flat surface here, made it just wide enough to slide into the dishwasher. Worked out great. This transmission is going to have actually it does have all 6 pinion planets. Every single one of them is steel, and all of them are 6 pinions. Yeah, it's a lot of rotating weight, but I don't know what I'm going to be putting this transmission through. It's probably going to be some type of abuse, and I'm going to have fun with it. So yeah, it has a 360 in the Durango, and I'll be getting the engine back shortly here from the machine shop. I really didn't want to bore it out. I mean, you could see the crosshatch, and the dash says 325,000 miles on it, and who knows if this is the original engine. I didn't care to check, but when I got it, I got the vehicle for a song and dance almost, and you start it up, and it had great oil pressure. I put a mechanical oil gauge on it, 75 psi. It'd warm up, and then it'd drop pressure. I saw that the oil sending unit was replaced. I decided to buy it anyways, and got it to the shop here, and I was like, all right, it's probably, the spring in the oil pump is probably, the piston, there's a spring behind there. It's like a relief valve. So I thought that was getting stuck in the bore, and it was just dumping oil pressure, and I pulled the pan, found out it was a new oil pump, and I was like, it's got to be mains. It's got to be the main bearings. So I pulled off a main cap furthest away from the oil pump, and sure, it was spun, What else can I say? And I was like, well, damn. So pulled the engine, and that's where I'm at. And like I said, I really didn't want to bore it out. I just wanted to throw some new rings in it, probably reuse the pistons, but one thing led to another, and I was like, well, I really want to set the compression on this engine. I don't want to be, a lazy 140 psi in the cylinders. And was going to get some aluminum heads for it. Decided not to. I'm going to keep with the cast iron. And yeah, that's another video. But anyways, getting back to this transmission, I started putting it back together, and I was like, you know what? And maybe I should just tell people what I'm doing to this thing. So yeah, I left off with the 6 pinion planets. All the oiling holes have been smooth. The intermediate shaft, it has smaller orifices in the cap in the one side and in the plug in the other. So when the intermediate shaft is getting fed oil, it doesn't just pour out both ends of it. It supplies more oil to the planetaries that way. Let's see. So yeah, this is one of the holes I chamfered. Like I said, every oil passage has either been cleaned, opened up. Everyone has been chamfered though. On the support, all the holes chamfered. Let's see what else I can think I did to this. Went over the Sprag. It's JB'd into place. Yeah, I'm just kind of, here and there putting it back together, and I still am waiting for parts for it. But they should be in. I ordered a converter. It's going to be 2000 2200 stall. Depending on torque output, of course, the higher the torque engine you got, the higher the stall is. So it'll probably be around the 22, maybe 23 if it's that much torque on this engine. But yeah, that'll be coming in a couple of days. Let's see what else. So one of the things I did was I put 7 clutches in this this forward direct drum here, and you could see it originally came with 3 for the vehicle, and I got a drum online, and it was machined for the extra groove, and it was cheap, and I decided not to go with it. And let me tell you why. These steels that grab onto the drum, they're gonna eventually find their way to that added groove below where it got machined, and I didn't want to take that chance, so I didn't use it. I ordered a brand new drum. It's not billet, it's not going to see that much RPM, and like I said, it's not going to be over 600. If it was going to be over 600 horses and I was going to be launching it at 3,500 and it was going to be a drag vehicle, well, yeah, you want to go billet, but I don't need to. So that's what I did. I took the apply piston, or not the apply piston, but the apply plate out of the forward rear. And this is the apply plate that goes against the bevel in the forward rear. And I basically took a grinder. I grinded off the high area. It's kind of ramped up for the bevel, for it to touch the bevel spring and apply. So, and the outer edge is 100 thou. So I was like, well, what if I use that instead of the 280 backing plate, and I can put another clutch in there, because I didn't want to use the thinner steels. So I got the thicker steels in here. I have 6 frictions. I have the original wavy snap ring in here. I think it measured 62 thou, and the play between the clutches and the snap ring is right around 100 thou. So I think it's just a tad less than 100 thou. So yeah, that's that. The drum, when I got it new, this was not pressed down all the way. The bushing, has to be at the bottom of that bevel. Okay, it can't be above it. Important. So when you get these, make sure you look for that. I have the piston return springs in here. I have 10. Hindsight, I probably should have put 12. I mean, it's more you got more adjustability that way, but I stuck with 10. So, like I said, it's not a race. I'm not going to be spinning RPM. I really don't need that much pressure on that piston. I'm not going to go with a billet plate here to hold them springs in place. So 10's good. It's 1 more than stock. I'm fine with it. I'll get some adjustability, tunability with it. Like I said, I got that hole in the side of the case for the line pressure, and I can adjust it that way. And I'll be going to SunX valve body kit, the Sure Cure kit. Comes with a bunch of items. It's a great kit. I took that over the Transgo, and there's some nice pieces in the Transgo too, like the Park Neutral detent. They kind of get rid of the ball and spring, and they have more of a bullet style. It's a sleeve, and I like that style. I just might buy that separately online, but haven't really got to that point yet. But yeah, just kind of going over what I did to this transmission, and I'm pretty sure I'll be thinking about 50 other things as I stop this video, but that's it so far. And let's see if that's about it for now. Oh, these bores here, Scotch-Brite them. If you got an old wheel cylinder hone with some real fine stones, I would do that. My wheel cylinder hone, it's old stones. I didn't want to take a chance and ruining the bore or whatever, so I just got some Scotch-Brite, and the bores weren't that bad. I mean, it really wasn't that bad. Now, if you see the bore and you see where the piston kind of cocked to one side and probably scarred the bore, well, yeah, you probably want to use a flat stone and hit it just a little bit. Don't want to go too much, but just enough to get those hone marks in there. And yeah, I went over it with some Scotch-Brite, and here I am. So that's what I did so far. And, well, just nothing I can think of right now. So, yeah, I'll talk to you later.